Amen.
On Shabbos, I mentioned a very magnificent story. For those that weren't here, it's very worthwhile repeating. One of the very biggest Rosh Yeshivas, who was probably one of the busiest men on this entire planet. And he walked out in the street, and he came across a Yid, and their paths crossed, and he saw on his face was spelled out tremendous depression, asis. And he got into a conversation with him, and he discovered he was a Holocaust survivor, and Yamach Shemam V'Zichram, his entire family was wiped out by the Nazis. And he felt life was not worth continuing. He had no hope, to continue living. He saw no future. And he was, this Godel was machazik with everything he could to bring some hope, a vision of happiness, of continuing and to lead a productive life. He told him, he was machazik him, he said, David shall help you. You're going to do a shlita, you're going to get married, you'll have a daughter, and you'll take your daughter to the chuppah, and I myself will come personally to dance with you at the chuppah. I kissed her. It happened. A few years later, he did a shidduch. Then he had a daughter, a maidle, and when she was 10 years old, this Godel, unfortunately, was diagnosed with a terminal illness. And she was 10 years old. By the time she came to the chuppah, he was here. He wasn't here any longer. And in the middle of the chuppah, at the height of the simcha, walks in the son of this big Rosh Yeshiva, and he goes right into the middle of the circle. He takes the hand of the Kala's father, and he starts to dance with him. He danced with him. And after the dance, he asked him, how in the world did you know to come here? He said, I'll tell you. He said, my father, before he left this world, he sat down with me and he was telling me that with the Kiyum, discussing his concerns about the Kiyum of Klal Yisrael, their perpetuity. And he said, number one on his list was, he met a Yid that was a Tzebrachner Mensch, a Holocaust survivor, and he promised him he's going to get married, he'll have a daughter, and I'm going to come dance with him at the chasne. But I won't make it, I won't be there. So I want you to take down, I have his name and his address, and I want you to be in touch with him, and in Mitzvah, if you'll make a simcha, you should go and dance in my place. That's what I'm doing here. This week is Wednesday night, is Shilas Tammuz. Chazal brings one of the Shivas of Churban Beis HaMikdash was Shinas Chinam, and here you have Avas Chinam. Also, I wanted to add to that, Zois chukas HaTorah, Adam Kiyomus V'Oihel. That's in parshas chukas. In the end of Koheles, it says, Adam Hoylech L'Beis V'Lomai. Here it's just Adam Kiyomus, a temporary dwelling, Yomus V'Oihel. And in Koheles, Adam Hoylech L'Beis V'Lomai, his own Olam, his own world, a world that he built with his Maisim Tovim, with his Chesed, with his Daka, everything that he did is all recorded, and that's what he built his Olama, he built his world with. It's like somebody puts into GPS, they put in an address where they're going, and when they arrive, it announces a final destination. Based on Olama, that's the person's final destination. There was an individual who one day turned to his wife and he said, he said, I worked so hard my whole life. He said, Baruch Hashem, he says, we have enough that I could retire already. It's too much for me to be tied down to a schedule. I want to retire. So we have enough, I'm going to retire. His wife said, the next day he goes to his boss, he tells him, this week I'll finish up. I'm retiring, and nice working with you. That's it. So the boss says, all right. He said, you're entitled, but I want to ask you a special favor. There's a house that we have a deadline. You must finish it. So maybe you retire 1 month later. It'll take us about a month or so to finish up this building, that we're building, and then you retire. He said, all right, I'll do it. His mind is, he's waiting to finish that building and to retire. He shouldn't have to be tied down to the schedule. Any problem that comes up with the plumbing, he covers up with some kind of inferior material, it gets lighter. A problem comes up with electricity, so he gets whatever was quicker. It doesn't necessarily have to be so permanent. He wants to get finished with the Reishkirchen. He wants to retire. Our kids really find they finish the job, and he retires. The boss calls him over. He says, Mr. Goldman, I owe you an awful lot. You should know that a lot of my business I built upon you and your skills and your devotion. Your work was, you were indispensable. So as a result, I'm going to give you a very special present. This house that you just now finished building, I'm giving to you as a present. Oh my goodness, it's Rabbi Fishbain. Had I known that this was the house that I'm going to build, I wouldn't have just Patachish want to hurry up the job. I would have made it that should last permanent. He was in a hurry with the foundation. The structure was crooked, was cracked, this and that. Whatever we do here, whatever we Meisim Tayv Tzedakah B'Chesed, your Shemayim, whatever we do here on this world, if we're building our world in the future comes. David will help him. We should be zecher to Mashiach Tzidkenu. Should be the last tea. She was the Talmud's last tea. Zecher Tzivinu Beis Hamikdash Mehevi Amen. Amen.
Rabbi Chanan ben Akash Emer, it's a Kodesh Baruch Hu L'Zakis Yisrael Aficha Chibur L'Ter Mitzvah Shnei Manu Chavetz Man Tzidka Yagdal Tiviyadya.